All right, let's take a minute to talk about insurance and why I choose, keyword there, choose not to take insurance to help my clients and patients get better. So like I just said, this is a choice. It's always up to the provider to choose whether or not to go in bed with insurance agencies. By me not doing so, I'm not trying to do a disservice financially for my patients. Rather, and I'll explain why, I'm actually trying to help them get better faster. Cash is king. Not for me. I mean, sure, I would love to earn cash and not have it be in taxes and the IRS not come after me, which they're not, by the way. But cash is king for patients, okay? Cash allows hard work. What I'm getting at here is if I take somebody's hard-earned cash, hard-earned money to render care to them in order to get them feeling and moving better, they're going to work harder for it. If I give you $100 and expect a service in return, I expect $100, if not more, worth of services, right? So what I'm getting at is if somebody pays me their hard-earned money, they're going to want the best care possible. They're going to work and create buy-in for that care. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not bashing those who take insurance, and this is not going against the insurance idea of a insurance-based practice, high-volume practice whatsoever. This is just what works best for me and my specific demographics and niche of seeing athletes, not just general wellness, and not just general wellness, but not working towards a maintenance plan. So by not taking insurance, this allows me to do whatever the heck we deem necessary or is deemed warranted with the patients and clients that I work with. Not because an insurance company said, hey, this is worth this much money, go ahead and do it. You have this diagnosis code, the CPT code, that's a rationale enough to make sense, go for it. Well, what if we need more? What if they need this extra little bit? What if they actually just need to sit down and talk for 15 minutes of a 40-minute session to associate and understand that this is what they're feeling, aka be educated on why they're experiencing what they're experiencing. Nobody else can provide that to them if they're taking insurance. Or they can provide that to them, but not be reimbursed for it. So what I choose to do again, is accept cash for these transactions, cash for these services, so that I'm not held liable or I'm not held against the insurance company's discretion of whether I should be paid for something that I'm providing benefit for this patient or client. That just doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't sit well with me. Let's think about it in a way that might be easier to comprehend. If I'm spending, let's say, an hour with somebody, but I'm only getting paid for 10 minutes of that session because reimbursement through insurances might only pay me for 10 minutes of that session or 10 minutes worth of services rendered through rationale providing and things like that, I'm losing 50 minutes worth of income. Now, I'm not in this profession to try to make $1 million. Trust me. If I were, I'd probably be taking insurance and seeing high volume. What I'm here for is to try to provide the best service possible for these individuals. And if I'm not getting paid for 50 minutes of a session, that's not going to keep the lights on in this office. That's not going to allow me to make enough to feed my family and pay rent here or my mortgage at home and things like that. And at the end of the day, if I'm not happy, I'm not going to be able to provide the best services possible. By taking cash, I get paid exactly what I'm worth, exactly what my knowledge and experience and all those things are worth, as well as the educational background of how I got here in the first place, not based off of what some insurance company thinks I'm worth. Let's draw you an example of insurance versus no insurance and how this might actually become more equal than it is different as far as client or patient input to the situation goes. So I see somebody for about 40 minutes once per week for an acute care situation. This is just an example of somebody's case that we might be seeing. So one time per week, 40 minutes. That's $90, okay? Now, on the flip side, an acute care somewhere else that might be taking insurance, that's going to be 3 times a week acute care for maybe 10 to 15 minute sessions. So time-wise spent per week, if you're going in 3 times per week, 10 to 15 minutes, it's about 40, 45 minutes maybe per week, right? Me, 1 time per week, 40-minute session once per week, it's about the same time in clinic between those two, right? Now, I said for a 40-minute session, you're paying $90. Your copay for 3 times a week is about $20 on average in Minnesota. So $20 times 3 times a week, that's $60. $90 for me, well, there's $30 there. $30 is really big, Dr. Reid. Oh no, what am I going to do without $30? You're actually losing more than that. Think about the time that you spend driving 3 times a week. Think about the work that you have to take off, the kids' activities whenever they resume, that you're missing out driving and spending these 10 to 15 minute times 3 times per week. That all adds up too. It's not just financial value, it's time and effort value too. Time and effort spent 3 times a week is bigger, right? Just coming in here 1 time a week for 40 minutes, that might just fit your schedule better. Now, don't get me wrong, if you like going in for quicker, more convenient sessions, 10, 15 minutes at a time, go for it. That's fantastic. If you already have an insurance copay premium plan, package, deal, benefit situation through your workplace, and they pay for chiropractic, go for it. What I'm getting at here is this is what works best for me and my patients and clients in my specific demographic or niche. So hopefully that explains a little bit better about why I choose not to take insurance. This, in my opinion, in how I practice, actually benefits the patient more so than it does for me. Cash is king, and when somebody pays hard-earned money for something, they're going to work harder for it. And I want hard-working individuals in my practice. On top of that, I want to work for the patients. I don't want to work or get reimbursed through an insurance company who thinks they know what's best for the patient without ever seeing them or laying hands on them or assessing their movement patterns. I want to be paid by the patient for what the patient needs.